Afternoon, folks. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. What I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk to you a little bit about gear design and being inspired by the past. And I've done videos about our nesting cook sets and things like that and how they're fashioned after the old U.S. Forest Service and Palco style cook sets and that type of thing. I also wanted to show you a couple more pieces today of things that we have coming out in the near future and things that are already out that were inspired by things from the past, and show you those past items as well. And I want to show you a new item from my collection that I'm very much considering reproducing in a more modern material. And I want to get your opinion on that. So this is kind of an interactive video in the comment section for you to tell me what you think the viability of that is. Now, somebody's going to ask me, of course, how much is it going to cost? And I can't tell you that because I'll have to pay for the tooling. Unlike a lot of people who sell things on the internet with their logo on them, I own every piece of tooling that makes Pathfinder stainless steel, all right? And other things as well. I've had to modify, make different, change drawings, things like that to get them the way I wanted them because that's part of the deal. So a couple things I want to show you real quick. This is a fairly rare, and I say fairly rare because I've never seen one exactly like it. This is a 1-quart bush pot that's made by Wherever, okay? And it's almost exactly the same size as our 1-quart bush pot that we recently released. It's just a little bigger in diameter and a little shorter. So you've got the same 1 quart, but the bail, the locking bail, all that stuff was designed from this kit. Now we did put bat wing handles on this thing to make it so it was a drinking cup. We did put a pour spout on it. So these were improvements that I thought needed to be made to a 1-quart bush pot for something that was going to be used for a solo hiker or something like that, or a solo woodsman, okay? But this piece completely inspired this 1-quart bush pot. And a lot of the things that I make are inspired by the past, obviously. Now, the next piece is this folding handle skillet that we're getting ready to come out with in November. This is a carbon steel folding handle skillet, okay? It's not stainless steel, it's carbon steel. And where this comes from, I have 2 very rare examples of folding handle steel skillets here. I have one that is an 8-inch right here. This one came from a U.S. Forest Service cook set, all right? This one is a 10-inch, and this one is an Abercrombie & Fitch. These are very rare examples of folding handle skillets. I have only physically seen 3 of these in my hand in my life, and I own all 3 of them. I've seen a couple pictures of some that were pretty beat up, pretty dented up, but these are in really good condition. The bottoms are flat, the handles are in really good shape, the hinging is in really good shape, and they're all really, really nice. Now, that's where the idea came in for the folding handle carbon steel skillet that we're going to release in November. Again, you know, it takes time to develop this stuff. I've talked about this thing a few times. You've seen it in a couple videos, probably for a year now. It takes that much time. They're on the way to us now. We have to develop packaging for them, and all those types of things have to be done. Prototypes have to be sent to us. They have to be tested. This is one of the original prototypes right here. And so those will be coming out in November. And I already know that the cost of this skill is probably going to be 25 bucks or less, just so you are aware of the price range of that stuff, okay, on that one. Okay, so now, this is a Boy Scout cook set. You say, okay, Boy Scout cook set, those things are a dime a dozen. Actually, these type Boy Scout cook sets are not a dime a dozen. Every piece of this one is stamped Wherever, okay? This is a Wherever number 888, and it says aluminum, trademark, made in USA. And this one is old enough that the hole that's supposed to be a square right here had been pretty much rounded off, and I almost have to use a pair of pliers to get this undone because it doesn't stay in that square anymore like it used to. And that square hole I'm talking about is here in the skillet. You can see there's a square hole right there. And there was a square at the bottom of this bolt here that actually fits in there, and it's almost rounded off. And all of the pieces to this skillet set, or this cook set, are all that same Wherever. You just bolted this back together to give you a handle for the skillet. You had a bowl, again, marked wherever. You had a pot, again, marked wherever on it. All of them had a different number. This is the number 234. And on the inside of that, you had a cup, and it's marked wherever. Again, this is the first Boy Scout mess kit I've ever seen that was marked wherever, and that's one of the reasons I grabbed it for my collection. It says patent applied for on the handle of this thing, okay? Patent applied for. So every piece of this is marked wherever, and every piece of this is a piece of history in my mind, okay? And you can see this one doesn't fit together perfect anymore. It's old, it's bent up a little bit, it's been used a lot, but that's what I like about it, right? So here's the thing about this cook set, right? Number one, it's all aluminum, okay? Most of them were. I've had a couple sets, and I still have a set up in my equipment shed that is steel on the skillet, and the rest of it's aluminum. So they made a few back in the 20s that had steel skillets. Most of them were aluminum. Most of the kits you see today on the market are aluminum. There's one stainless steel kit on the market today that I saw that's pretty much, I would not use that kit. It's really thin stainless steel, number one. The bale's really flimsy on the pot. The pot has a plastic lid on it, and it comes with a plastic cup. So if I were going to redevelop something like this, I would do every single piece of it in stainless steel. I would probably make the pan very much like the skillet that we make today that has that extra bottom on it to help dissipate the heat. And I would definitely have a stainless steel pot and cup inside there as well as having a stainless steel bowl. So let me know in the comments and tell me if you think this is a viable option, okay? Because if you do, then I may look at developing it. Something like this is much more difficult to reproduce, and the tooling costs are much greater to reproduce this because you have several pieces you have to make tooling for. It's not as easy as just like a single pot with handles on it and a bale. You've got 4 pieces of this thing that have to be created, and tooling has to be created for every piece. So I'd have to sell a lot of these to make my money back just on the tooling, let alone make a profit. But I think it's a very viable piece of kit. I think it's an awesome piece of kit. A lot of people still to this day carry these Boy Scout cook sets in their backpacks. And the steel skillet that I've got up the top, I've cooked in that thing dozens of times, and it works great. So if I made this thing out of complete stainless steel, I think it'd be an awesome backpacking type kit. And I hope you guys feel the same way. So I wanted to show you a couple pieces today and where the inspiration came from. You know, especially the skillets coming out in November with these older Forest Service type folding handle skillets, as well as the 1-quart bush pot that we released a while ago and where that came from. And then talk to you about this new Boy Scout mess kit and see what you guys thought the viability of that was for a future project in 2025. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate you joining me for this video today. And again, you know, the theme of this video is inspired by the past, because everything that we create, especially cookware-wise, is inspired by something from the past. This is not anything that I invented or recreated or is brand new. It's just stuff that I'm trying to improve to make it more conducive to what we do in this modern day and age in the woods, from more modern materials, and with a few design changes I think can make it a more usable product for the end consumer. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.